Yo, what's going on? It's your boy Ghost here, and today I bring us a comparison video between the MAC-10 and FFAR. But before we get into this, I want to give you guys a quick thank you for 1.3k subs. You guys have been showing me an insane amount of support over the last month and a half, and I'm very thankful for that. So with that being said, if you're new to the channel, hit the subscribe button, turn on post notifications. We are on, I guess, on the road to 2k. I believe we can hit it before the midway point of 2021. I think it's very achievable, but we just gotta get there. So help a brother out, hit that sub button, turn on notifications, and yeah, we move. But anyways, back to the comparison. The MAC-10 and FFAR are two weapons that are kind of in different thresholds or different levels in Warzone. The MAC-10 obviously is one of the most used weapons currently. It's one of the more powerful weapons, especially at close to medium range. And if you use the broken gallantry blueprint, it's even better. And if you guys do not know what I'm talking about, the gallantry blueprint or variant for the MAC-10 is actually statistically way better than the base one. It has more damage, more recoil, and I don't remember what else, but it's very just stupid. It's a stupid thing that needs to be fixed and addressed quickly because it's literally making this game pay to win. And FFAR is a weapon that isn't commonly used right now, but I feel like people are just waiting for the nerfs to happen in order to bust out the FFAR. The FFAR, in my opinion, is a very underrated weapon, but at the same time, not. Because people know it's good and they really want to use it, but the DMR is limiting people from experimenting. And we'll get into that in a second. But yeah, anyways, with that being said, let's get into the comparison. And here we have the recoil pattern for the FFAR. And in all honesty, it seems like a pretty straightforward recoil pattern. Nothing too crazy. And in some cases, you will feel like you're going to be able to control the recoil like very well. And it's going to feel like, in some cases, like it has no recoil. But at long ranges, that's where it gets a little tricky because it doesn't really have a long range game. So when you use the FFAR, do not expect it to be like a DMR, a Kilo, a AMAX, a RAM, because it just doesn't have the range. I will say though, one of the guns that I see a lot of similarity in with FFAR is the RAM. Unfortunately, I can't just slap on a sight on the FFAR and have it beam across the map because it just doesn't have that capacity right now. And so hopefully when this gun gets buffed, because I'm telling you, it's still like all Cold War ARs need that damage range increase and just slight reduce to recoil at ranges, because right now at long ranges these Cold War ARs are just struggling, and FFAR is no exception. I really feel like if it does receive that buff, it's going to be easily one of the top ARs in the game. And I feel like a lot of people already know that, but they are not using it because, well, for one, the DMR zone isn't really allowing for variety. And two, like I keep mentioning, it has no range. So that means you more than likely have to use a sniper, because running a MAC-10 or just any SMG with the FFAR isn't exactly the smartest idea. You're already limited to medium to close range, or close to medium range, whatever. And just using a MAC-10 or any other SMG isn't really the best idea. So the next best thing you got is a sniper. Unfortunately, right now with this meta, sniping is also not a good idea, because if you miss a shot, it's pretty much a GG for you. But if you're a good sniper, you might be able to get away with it. I was able to get away with it in some games. Some games I got punished for using a sniper. It just kind of depends on the lobby that you get, kind of the game that you're playing. But overall, using a sniper right now is very dangerous. But in the areas that the FFAR excels in, like the close to medium range, it is by far one of the better options to use at those ranges. I'll actually consider it top 5 when it comes to close to medium range. And it's kind of crazy because it's an AR. It's not an SMG. It's not, I guess you consider it a hybrid. There's been a few hybrid weapons throughout the years. And I guess you can consider this a hybrid weapon. Hell, it literally got nerfed in like the first few weeks of Cold War being out because it was really good. I could not imagine how good a pre-nerf FFAR would have been in this game, assuming it would have worked properly. If you guys do not know, the FFAR in the beginning of the Cold War, it was a very overpowered weapon, a very good weapon. Pros loved the weapon, they used the weapon, but then it got nerfed, became completely horrible, and then it got buffed again to make it usable, and here we are. But I will say that, in my opinion, this gun right here is probably the best counter to a MAC-10. But it's unfortunately not able to get that, I guess, spotlight, because the DMR, doesn't allow for that. And you're not going to use FFAR as a secondary. I've seen some people try to experiment with that. One of my friends even brought up that they might use FFAR with the DMR. But, I mean, it's really, in the long run, it's really not smart, because if you're spraying with the DMR and whatnot, or you spray with FFAR, you're going to eventually run out of AR ammo, especially if you're not getting into engagements a lot, you're not getting kills, you're going to run low on AR ammo. So it's really not the most viable option to sit here and run FFAR secondary. And overall, I feel like just the usage of the FFAR is minimal. And without a nerf, it's going to continue to be minimal. It's just going to be one of those weapons that you use off the ground, and or the occasional just, I want to try it out for fun. But, you know, again, until we get that nerf, man, it's just, I feel like going to be a weapon that just gets overshadowed by a thing like a MAC-10. Which is sad, because I think it's better in a lot of things. But, hey, you know, people won't see it because they can't use it. Anyways, with that being said, let's get into the MAC-10. And here we have the recoil pattern for the MAC-10. I guess more specifically the gallantry variant. And I know some of you guys might be a little, you know, hesitant about what I'm doing here. But, I mean, look, the gallantry variant right now is the overall used MAC-10. If you have it, you are using it. If you're not, you're selling. But, unfortunately, this gun, like I mentioned earlier, is different than the MAC-10. Statistically, it is. It's actually better, which is crazy to me. A paid variant through Battle Pass is better than the free variant, which, you know, Activision will be Activision, and yes, it's probably not intended to be this way. Obviously, it's not intended to be this way, but you just never know what Activision, you know what I'm saying? They might have secretly done something, you know, to get to this point. But whatever, we're not going to get into that. We're here to talk about comparison. We're here to talk about any of that BS. Anyways, the one thing that I will say that the MAC-10 has over the FFAR, the gallantry or not, is the ability to control recoil. You know, it's very easy, very simple to control the MAC-10's recoil. And close to medium range, you can beam kids. It's really not that hard. And I would say this is a beginner-friendly gun. I guess that's literally why it's in meta, because it's very easy to use. Nothing wrong with it, you know what I'm saying? But I think this gun becomes a little bit more appealing to others because of its easiness. It's very simple usage. It's not complicated, and it doesn't really require that much skill. Whereas the FFAR, in my opinion, I think requires a little bit more skill to use. But, you know, whatever. It is what it is. And the other thing that I think the MAC-10 has, and it's just mostly because of SMG, is the fact that, or it's mobility, my bad, not the fact, but it's mobility. The mobility of the MAC-10 is just beautiful. It's smooth. It's nice. I love it. And I'm a very big mobility guy. I love movement, and the MAC-10's movement is just beautiful. It is just, it's one of the biggest reasons why I use the MAC-10 right now. I know it's really good, obviously, and using it is probably your best option right now. Even though I'm an AK-74U guy, I'll take that to the grave. But just the movement on this is just unmatched. It's literally unmatched. And I'll be honest with you, if it gets nerfed, like movement-wise, it could deter some players away from it. Because I don't know, I may not be the only one that uses it primarily because of movement. You know what I'm saying? I'm fine with using AK-74U all day, every day. But the movement on it feels wonky. You know what I'm saying? The FFAR's movement feels a little bit wonky too. Mostly because I'm using the stock and it's an AR at the end of the day. But, you know, I don't know. Like, it's just movement, man. I'm a sucker for movement, alright? You haven't noticed already? I'm a sucker for movement. But anyways, the MAC-10, I don't know. Damage profiles, I don't know any of that. You know what I'm saying? Like, it feels, obviously, it feels like a melter. The FFAR feels like a melter. In the matchup that I went up against FFARs, the FFARs come out on top most of the time. Really, you just kind of have to use it and just tell by yourself. Like, I can, you know, again, tell you about all the stats in the world, but it don't matter, man. If you're not using the weapon, it doesn't really matter. You know, like, you have to use it to really, truly understand the powers of FFAR. You know, I would say MAC-10, but you're already probably using the MAC-10. There's no need for me to really tell you anything about the MAC-10. Like, you've used it. You know it's good. Okay, cool. Use the FFAR. I'm telling you, like, at close range, it's going to be a problem when the DMR gets nerfed and people are able to use the sniper again. And people are just going to match up the FFAR with the sniper, and the MAC-10 is going to be getting put into the ground. And to be honest with you, now that I've used the FFAR, I realize that the MAC-10 isn't even OP. And even before the nerf, like, I don't see this MAC-10 being as OP as we were making it out to be. The FFAR, like again, like one of the biggest competitions that it has been kind of just overshadowed because the DMR is still in the game. Like, just imagine when the DMR gets nerfed, right? And the FFAR starts prevailing a lot more, and it starts outgunning more MAC-10s. You know, people are gonna be like, wait a minute, the MAC-10 isn't even, it's not that crazy. And even now, especially now with the nerf, it's gonna be more, I guess, balanced. And you know, again, all the competition right now, in my opinion, for the MAC-10 is getting overshadowed. I think a lot of SMGs are capable of being as good as the MAC-10, but no one's giving it a shot. The FFAR, the biggest competition that it has, is getting, you know, overshadowed by another gun. And I don't know, man. We just need the DMR nerf. That's all I'm trying to say. We just need the DMR nerf, man. For the sake of the game, we just need it. But anyways, that's it for the video. Let me know what your personal experiences are with the FFAR. Let me know your personal thoughts on it. And yeah, thank you guys for watching. See you guys later. And I'm out. Peace.